In 2016, I bought my first franchise, and in 2025, we will cross $50 million in revenue. And in this video, I'm going to give you my exact blueprint that I have followed up to this point and will continue to follow on my path to $100 million. So let's dive in. The first thing that I look to buy is an existing unit of a current franchise brand that I operate in a current market. The entire point of running a franchise business is rinse and repeat. And adding existing locations into my existing footprint is very easy because we already have all the resources in place. I have district managers, we have employees, we have vendors. From day one, it is turnkey. The essential checklist is done within hours of acquiring. So we buy a new Midas shop, for example. In an hour, we have credit card machines swapped over, we have employees onboarded into our payroll system, the software is then pointed to our central database. This is one of the many benefits of franchising is the ease of onboarding a new location. If I was taking over an independent business and trying to convert it into my franchise brand, it would be a whole thing. Like we'd have to change the hours, we'd have to change the point of sale, we'd probably have to change the compensation plans, the pricing, maybe even the scope of work that is done. When I buy a franchise, boom, day one, we're good to go. If I buy an independent business, like I could turn over the whole staff and it could take me months and months to get it on board. This is why franchises are scalable. It's the ease of duplication because you eliminate all the different factors and just focus on the main things. So if I can buy an existing unit of a current brand that I'm in my current marketplace, it's a no-brainer, and that is going to be the first priority for my money. Next up, I'm going to look to open a new unit of a current brand that I operate in one of my current marketplaces. There are a lot of synergies to fill in your footprint. Currently, I have 33 Midas locations between 3 different markets in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And I already have all these infrastructures in place. And so, for example, I have 2 stores. Let's say they are 45 minutes apart, and I'm gonna look to see if I can get a location right in between them to split that drive to about 20 minutes in each direction. Now, you may say, well, isn't that gonna cannibalize and hurt your existing customer base? But in automotive repair, people don't really go that far out of their way to get their cars fixed. Most people go within like a mile from where they live or work. But for me, that creates a lot of synergies. We create more opportunities for promotion. So maybe we have an assistant manager at one of our stores who can then get promoted to be the manager of that new store. As we add more stores, we can add more district managers who are the leadership who oversee the store levels, and more stores means we've got the budget to hire more district managers and continue to create career paths. And really great people want to be in an organization that allows them to grow. By filling in multiple locations in our footprint, we create those opportunities. So if I have opportunities to fill in new stores in our existing market, I'm going to take those whenever I can. All right, next up is to buy the real estate of a building that we currently rent. I'm not a huge fan of buying real estate to gain financial freedom. Real estate is meant to protect wealth. It is not meant to create it, at least over the short term. However, if we are going to be paying rent for the next 10 or 20 years, I'd rather use that cash every single month to pay down principal on a mortgage. And at the end of the 15 or 20 years, now I own the building and now I have something that can create passive income and can create wealth if I potentially sell it. Unfortunately, all of our leases are triple net. They're long-term. We're in a resilient industry. It's backed by a very solid operator who pays every month. And so landlords aren't really interested in selling their properties unless they needed cash or, they die. I am ready when the opportunity presents itself to buy these things, but I'm also not going to way overpay for a property when I could use that cash to buy more businesses to continue to grow. Like I would make way more money doing that and then take that money and buy other real estate if I really wanted to own it. But if I have an opportunity, I'm gonna take it, but it's not something that I'm gonna go crazy on. Next up, I'm gonna look to buy an existing multi-unit package of franchises in our current brand in a new market. Now I've done this 2 times already, where first, it was into New Jersey. Our core business was Philadelphia. We said, hey, we want to break in New Jersey, and I need at least 4 locations with a path to 5 to 7 to make sense to enter that new market. Because our business requires a hands-on district manager to oversee the stores, to be shoulder to shoulder every day, coaching, training. It's at least about $150,000 annual investment for salary, bonus, payroll taxes, health insurance, other benefits, travel, like other market expenses that we're going to incur when we open those new markets. If we were opening these stores one by one, it could take years to get enough of them because it's so hard to find real estate. And so if I start with a package, start with a few, that becomes the foundation, which then I can build upon. I did this in New Jersey a number of years ago. All of our stores were in Philadelphia. We said, hey, we want to get into this new market. I was able to acquire 7 stores in a single shot from an existing franchisee who was looking to retire. That was my existing multi-unit, current brand, new market. And then once I had those 7 stores as my foundation, I go to the back to the top of my list where we said, okay, if I then could buy an existing unit of my current brand or my current market, I did that. So I was able to acquire another location 6 months later. That gave us 8 locations. Then another guy came along, 2 locations, 3 locations. We bought those, same thing. And then I had an opportunity to buy the real estate of in that new current market of one of the buildings we operate. We are currently looking to open up new units in that market, and we can continue down the path. Same thing. I did it in Lehigh Valley a couple years ago where we were able to buy 5 stores, single shot. That seeded the market. Boom, back to the top of my list here. And we were able to buy 2 more existing locations in that market. So now we've got 7 locations in that market. Does very well for us. And we are continuing to look to open new units in it because I've acquired all the existing Midas shops in that area. As you can see, this is the system that we've created in order to compound our growth by finding a new market and then going back to the top of the list and continuing to reinvest the profits. Next up is buying an existing multi-unit package of franchises of a new brand in my current market. I only get into a new concept if I feel very strongly about the opportunity. Something that's scalable, has a strong ROI, it's simple to operate, has huge macro wins behind it. Like, I'm not into trendy concepts. I want something that's tried and true. If I'm going to do this, I need an operating partner who has skin in the game, who will eat, sleep, and breathe the business, who will give everything they got to make it work. That just like hire a manager does not work no matter what people tell you. I'm looking for a unicorn here. A multi-unit group to acquire in my current market, these are very hard to find because franchisees want to sell to other franchisees. The best deals, they get done internally and they never hit the market. And most broker deals are complete crap, which is why no other franchisees wanted to buy it in the first place. Because if they were good, guess what? Back at my step 5 here is other franchisees are gonna buy that business and it's never gonna hit the brokers. It's never gonna come to me. This is a unicorn. I have not found this yet, but I am looking for it. If something came up in the markets I operate in, that's a great deal and a great brand, I'm gonna try to get it. Now, these are hard to find, but they do exist. This is one of the reasons that I create content, is because it allows opportunities to come into my world. And then it's a question of, can I find an operating partner and can we make it happen? If I can't find that, I move to the last bucket. Finally, it is getting into a new unit of a new brand in our current market. Starting fresh with a new brand has its advantages. I can pick the absolute best locations, the best business model that fits my goals, my skill, my team, and not be limited to what's just available. There are no bad habits to break. There are no systems to fix. And that first location is my ticket to the brand's inner circle. But then once I'm in, I can start back at the top of my list, working to acquire existing locations, to buy real estate if it's available, to buy out multi-unit guys and all that. I get to cherry pick the best practices from each system that I'm part of. And what I learned in one brand helps me in others. The same with marketing, operations, and team building. And each business becomes a learning opportunity for me and my team as I'm a sponge to absorb everything. And as I'm trying to build a portfolio of multiple brands, multiple industries with lots of different partnerships that have synergies, that sometimes don't have synergies intentionally in order to counter each other, this is all part of the game. And so I'm excited to find these opportunities if they fit my strict criteria in terms of being simple and scalable and having great operating partners and all of that stuff. If I can't find any of these things, my final bucket is other people's money. So I invest into index funds like Vanguard, low cost, super boring, set it and forget it. I invest into private equity. So I'm looking for potential home run deals with proven operators in unique opportunities. I also invest into debt, earning 10 to 15% annualized, whether I directly lend the money or put it into some sort of debt fund backed by hard assets. Basically, I try to keep it simple with investments. I try not to think about it because I really want to focus my time, effort, energy, money, and all that in growing the business. So this is the blueprint that I have followed and will continue to follow on building my business. And if you have any questions about this or anything else related to growing a franchise, drop them in the comments below and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.